welcome to Hanging with the Walkers. Here with my host and co-host, Rogers Walker.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. Greetings.
Oh, so awesome to have him in the house, nice and dry and safe. I can reach out and touch. He's not on the road. I don't have to call. We don't have the three-way and reaching by airway. He's in the house. So I'm glad to have my host and co-host, none other than Rogers Walker, with me on tonight. And we are so excited to have a guest slash friend slash sister from Fort Myers, Florida, who thought it not robbery to stop by, hanging with the Walkers on tonight to spend a little time on us, to love on us. You know, we always say that we are loving on others, but we get the opportunity to get loved on tonight by one of our dear friends and sisters, none other than the one and only, because there is no one else like her, Jacquelyn McMiller.
Thank you, and much love to the both of you.
Same here, same here. We're so excited to get into what it is that we need to know so that we can just become a little closer to you than we already are. So if you could just share with our Hanging with the Walkers fam, tell us who Jacquelyn McMiller really truly is.
I'm Jacquelyn McMiller, and I am a lifelong resident here in Fort Myers, Florida. My family lives here, my mom and dad. My dad passed away 2 years ago, and I'm here taking care of my 90-year-old mother. I have 3 kids. I have 5 fabulous grandchildren.
All right.
And I've lived here in Fort Myers for pretty much all of my life. I love this city, and it's all about, being of service and giving back to the community as we should. That's who I am. That's what makes me tick.
You said two things that I have to question. First, that you have 3 kids and you don't look it. And then you had to say boldly to our Hanging with the Walkers fam that you are a grandmother. Is that a statement or just something that we say?
Oh,
You don't
no,
look like grandmother
no.
material.
Oh, well, thank you very much. But I have 5 fabulous grandkids.
Oh
My
my
oldest
goodness.
daughter is 31, and my
No
youngest son is
way.
24. Yeah.
Wow.
And my grandkids, they're the royal grandchildren,
Uh-huh.
but
Uh-huh.
they're the best thing. Grandchildren are the best thing in the world. I told my kids if I didn't have to have children and could just have grandkids, I would have been great. No problem.
Kudos and ditto. Let me say it loud.
That's right.
Okay, kudos and ditto. If we didn't have to do one without the other, amen. And God is pleased with
Exactly.
honesty. He is pleased with
Hmm.
honesty, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I tell them, I said, I love you guys. I told my kids, I love you guys, but I adore my grandkids. They're
Yes,
just the
that's it.
best.
That's
Yeah.
it. And we thank them for doing what they did to give us what we got.
Oh.
And that's a good thing. So we appreciate that. So we know that we are a family oriented woman, queen,
Hmm.
princess. We know that we got that covered. But we know Jacquelyn McMiller from what we see in Fort Myers. But at this point, can you just share with us what keeps you motivated through all that you do in the run of a day? What keeps you motivated?
Prayer. And I love I'm a member of Friendship Baptist Church here in Fort Myers.
Shout out to you guys.
And, speaking with the people in my church, the support that I get from them, friends, I have very few close friends.
Uh-huh.
And that's one of the reasons I'm quiet. I'm an introvert. People
Mhm.
really don't believe this, but I
Right.
truly am an introvert. And
Wow.
but you give me a reason where I have to stand up for someone. Veronica Shoemaker used to tell me. She told me once I went into her every weekend. My dad would buy my mom flowers.
Hmm.
And I would go
Nice.
in sometimes with him, and I was reading a book, following him. And she told me, she tapped the book and she says, young lady, she stood and she looked bigger than life at that time. She says, you're either going to stand for something or you're going to fall for anything.
Wow.
And that has stuck with me for years,
Hmm.
And I've always been, my family, they were in civil rights. My parents, they have been, been part of the social services system with
Hmm.
foster care. I've had over about 200 foster brothers and
Oh
sisters.
my goodness.
And they've just been givers. And because of that, I've learned that we have to give back.
That's it.
That's what God wants us to do. And we have to, anything that, any power that he gives us, we need
Hmm.
to do that.
Wow.
So
And I
that's
want to
what we
interject right
do.
there too, Mayor, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when you said Veronica Shoemaker, a lot of people don't understand who she really is. She was the first Black member of Fort Myers City Council, and she's a
Yes, she was.
well-known activist in the community, flower shops, every 9 yards. So she definitely was a pillar in that community. And for you to sit at her feet and to talk with her and to take the advice that she has given you, has got you to the place where you are at today. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. And I remember it like it was yesterday. 10 years old, we would go in there every Friday. I knew if my dad was in trouble because he would always get 2 dozen of roses instead of one. So I'm like,
Mm.
oh, he's in trouble. He's done something. But every Friday, like clockwork, we would be there at her florist shop. She's the first woman I've ever met that a woman of color that I've ever met that owned a business. And it's just something that I will never ever forget. And I've held on to that to this day. And I pass that on to my kids and my grandchildren as well.
That is awesome.
Yeah. She's a
Powerful woman.
counselor of Ward 1
Yeah.
What one?
She ran 17 times
before she
Oh
won.
my
before she
goodness.
was able to win her seat on city council.
That's
So that just
inspirational.
tells you, you know, the shoes that I'm willing to fill on
Mhm.
doing what I need to do for this community.
Wow. 17 times. That's an inspiration all by itself. That sometimes when it's something that we desire, and shout out to all the women of color that are trying to make a difference and make a change. 17 times
Mm,
Veronica Shoemaker ran for her office before she got what her heart desired. Sometimes we can't handle one no, and
mhm.
we definitely can't handle two no's. We can't even handle a maybe, because when we do that, that thing that we said that we had a drive or a love or a passion for, we kind of like give up on it because it kind of hurts. I don't know if it's pride or our ego or whatever it is, but we have a tendency to just drop it and forget it, and then
Yes.
just bury it under a pillow or a rock, and then we change directions instead of doing what Miss Shoemaker did. Just keep going until
Keep
you get a
going.
yes.
Keep striving ahead. And I think the biggest thing is what's for you. God says what is for you is for you.
That's it.
You know, and if you may not win, it's like when I ran for mayor in 2020, everyone was like, you know, you lost, you know, I came within 3 points of
Mm.
winning
Oh
on
my
a
goodness.
platform that I had never ran for mayor. And as I said, I was an introvert, so I went to school, came home, ran my business, took care of my kids, and went to church. That was me. You know, so for me to have gotten out and done that, but I didn't do it alone. You know, you
Right.
had the entire city of Fort Myers that came out. We broke records that year
Yes.
in voting. So, you know, I didn't mind because I really won. You know, when I think back on the experience that I gained, the people that I was able to meet, the people
Mm-hmm.
that I've been able to make friends with and become
Mm-hmm.
acquainted with and have phone numbers to congressmen and congresswomen and people that are in DC that I can make a phone call to for this community is
Wow.
what was, to me, that's the winner.
Yes.
That
The,
is
beau-
the winner.
the beautiful part of what you said 3 points from winning, from becoming mayor, a woman of color running for mayor, and almost 3 points. All in all actuality, you did not lose, you actually won,
I won.
because
Yes.
you exposed some other young women that saw you, that looked like you,
Yes.
that was 3 points from being mayor in Fort Myers. And
Yes.
all they're saying to themselves, if she could do it, then I can do it.
Absolutely.
So you never lost. You actually
Absolutely.
won. You won a race for generations. Because we already know that it's never about us. So getting that
Mm-hmm.
close touch generations. And years from now, you're going to have someone years from now that said that I was this age. And I remember when you ran for mayor and you
Yeah.
got that close. And because of what you did, drove me to get where I am today. You got to tell me about it when it does happen.
I certainly will. I certainly will. I see so
Yes.
many, and I think back when I was younger, I didn't see that. I only saw women that were nursing, and I actually started out in nursing.
Oh,
I was
see.
3 months from receiving my degree, my nursing degree. And, I had graduated from high school early. So I went into it. I'm 17 years old, almost 18 years old, and really wasn't prepared for the gravity of what
Hmm.
nursing was all about.
Hmm.
But the only reason why I did it is because of the fact that I had never seen attorneys. I was interested in law. That was what I
Hmm.
wanted to do. But I'd never
Hmm.
seen any female Black women attorneys.
Hmm.
And if you can't see it, you don't believe you can be it.
That's it.
And but I see so many now, people that are stepping out in this community now, that kids can see that if she can do it or he can do it, I can do it.
That's
I
it.
just have to
That's it.
work hard, keep my nose to the grind, and keep working hard and stay committed.
That's it. And if you're
Yes.
just joining us, we have with us the one and only Jacquelyn McMiller. She is running for City Council for Ward 2 in the Fort Myers, Florida area. If you are just joining us, please like and share this video. Someone we know may need to hear the information and allow this woman of God to touch their heart on tonight. A caring, loving person that even when you're in her presence, she makes you feel as if she cares. She makes you feel as if I hear you. I'm listening to everything you said. And we want to welcome Kiera Johnson, hanging out in the Bradenton, Sarasota area, and also all the way from New York, Miss Maris Robinson. So you never know who you see or hear or talk to on Hanging with the Walkers. So thank you all for tapping in on tonight. Shout out to my cousin in Tennessee that's hanging out with us on tonight on Hanging with the Walkers. But we're here to find out and feel the heart of Miss Jacquelyn McMiller. She's already told us what keeps her motivated, but and I heard you say, even in answering that question before I can even get it out, what drove you to run for this office? What drove you to get to this point? Okay, I did the mayor. I didn't do it within the 3 points for whatever negative reason, but I decided to throw my head in the ring again and run for city council.
True.
So
I
kind
did.
of give us a little, paint us a little picture about getting into that city council.
Well, Mr. Streets has done a fabulous job in
Hmm.
what, in the seat. He's currently the city council for Ward 2.
Hmm.
Ward 2 is one of the most diverse wards. We have 6 wards
Okay.
and we have a mayor. So the Ward 2 is one of the most diverse wards within that 6 wards. And one of the reasons why I decided to do it is I don't believe in giving up. I don't believe of anything of saying I can't. My father, taught me that, there's, I can't is not even a part of your vocabulary. And I wanted to run because I knew that we needed to bring, with all of the politics that we say sometimes
Oh, I
and
like
the
that.
attitudes of politics,
Hmm.
I wanted to bring integrity and honesty. And God told me, I was sitting there, and I'm going to share this with you. The reason why I decided to even get into this whole politics was I'm sitting there watching the news and I'm complaining about what they're doing here
Uh-huh.
in the area. And it could have been nationally, but I know it was locally. And I said to myself, I can't believe, and I'm talking to the television, I can't believe that they're doing this. What is
Hmm.
going on with them? What are they thinking? And God spoke to me. He says, just as well as you can argue with this television, you can get up and actually do something.
Mm.
I
Wow.
gave you the education, I gave you the mindset, I gave you all the skills to go out and accomplish what I put in your spirit to do. And this is what you need to do instead of saying it to the television.
Mm-hmm.
And from then on, I hit the ground running.
Wow.
But that's one of the reasons why I'm running. We need to bring God back into politics, and we need to bring spirituality back into politics. People don't trust people anymore.
No, they don't.
And if it means that I'm going to be the one, I'm willing to take it. I'm willing to be out there and put myself out there and take the chance of being disappointed, take the chance of being, negative things being said to me. That's okay because God got me,
Wow.
but the main thing is going out and making a difference and being there for everybody, not just Republicans or Democrats, not just the rich or the poor. Everybody, we want all of those basic things. We want a house. We want to be able to send our children to college or trade school or whatever they want to do. Everybody wants options.
Right.
And I want to be able to provide those options to anyone if they're willing to work hard for it and make the sacrifices that we've made throughout the years as well.
Now, not speaking hypothetical, I'm going to speak present tense.
Mm-hmm.
As City Councilor Ward 2.
Come on.
You're there. What is the first assignment that you're going to tackle?
Our infrastructure. I think that's one of the main things. And the only reason why I put infrastructure first is that currently I am on almost every housing affiliated think tank board, for in the community. I'm on the collaboratory 21st Century Housing Coalition. We're seeking ways to be able to provide housing to 80% of Fort Myers of Southwest Florida, housing and transportation for less than 45% of their income. So that's a big task, but it can be done if we get all the right people. We have over 100 people in this group that are working on solving this issue. I'm also with the NAACP housing. I'm over the housing with the NAACP. I'm working with the League of Women Voters. I was the director of housing with the League of Women Voters, but once it was determined that I was going to run, I am now I'm no longer the director. I had to give that seat up, but I'm still very, very involved in different organizations in trying to find ways to solve this, as well as the League of Cities, which is a huge program and a huge program that they have where all over the city mayors, city representatives, and everything, they're involved in trying to solve this housing crisis. And it's all over the nation. But I think the best thing is to work hard, not work smart, not hard. So we can get all of this intelligence. If we can send a man to the moon, we can certainly solve this housing crisis that we have. But the infrastructure, I think that, people are getting flooded. This gives you, with the rain and everything, it gives you a really good idea of how bad it is, and, the sewer systems, upgrading our sewer systems. One of the major things that I noticed after Hurricane Ian was that Billy's Creek, EPA has determined that it is polluted. And all of that pollution came into people's homes. That's because we do not have a smart infrastructure set up to ensure that the homes are safe, that people can maintain their homes. But also, once the infrastructure is set up properly, insurance rates will be affected as well, because the housing insurance or home insurance is through the roof. Once we can truly set up the infrastructure with FEMA, according to FEMA standards and above FEMA standards, with being involved in their community rating system and addressing that, our insurance rates will come down because of the fact that we'll be able to qualify for the necessary discounts. Right now, we don't, because of this infrastructure and the way that they have everything set up.
That's all right.
As excuse me, as Councilwoman of Ward 2, you're in the seat. How do you plan to involve the resident in the decision-making process of Ward 2?
Well, I think the first thing is getting organized, getting every one of our neighborhoods organized, because one of the things in the city council at 431, no one can come in and sign up and say we want to speak on a particular topic. And as
Okay.
you know, most of us, like myself and many of us others, we're working at 4:30.
That's
We're
it.
getting off at 5 or 6 o'clock. So we really don't have the opportunity to come in and share whatever that we need to share that's going on in our neighborhoods. So we need to be smart about it. Get the neighborhoods together, get that spokesperson to have them to take turns where they can get off early and come in and speak for that particular neighborhood. I
That's
want
it.
people involved. I don't know all the answers, but I will certainly listen. I will certainly do whatever I can to help in any way to make sure we can address it. But I want people to learn also about what's going on at city council,
That's it.
because if they learn, that means I'm mentoring, I'm preparing someone else that may want to run for Ward 2,
That's it.
or may want to run for Ward 1. If they can come and get organized, I'm not going to be the last person to run. I don't want to be 70 years old and sitting in this chair. We need young people involved. And every other ethnicity prepares their young people to step up. And I think that that's where we're lacking as a Black community, is people of color. We need to start passing that baton, but we need to prepare them
Right.
for us to pass that baton.
That's it. Preparation is the key word, because a lot of
Absolutely.
times we hand things off to people, and we feel like we can train them. OJT. Everything is not always OJT. Preparation is needed before we walk into these things, because
Mhm.
it's like we set them up to fail if we don't give them full knowledge, and show them and share with them what it is that they're up for before they walk into these things.
That's right. And as a voter myself, to hear you, woman of God, say what you have said, that you want the community involved. As a voter myself, I will want to be involved in my community, and I will want someone to listen to me, not just hear me. And
Right.
right now, they're just hearing us.
Mhm.
What about
Mhm.
listening to us? And like you said earlier, I mean, we having meetings at 1 o'clock, 1:30, knowing that majority of us are working. So how do
Exactly.
we refrain from having these 1 o'clock, 1:30 meetings so that we all can be involved? So when I see a sign say, okay, meeting at 1:30, I know I have to work and pay my bills. I'm not going to take off. So I'm going to get the mindset, you know what, man, forget about that meeting. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. How do we change the mindset of people from thinking like that?
Well, I think that the other thing is the people coming in and saying, we want to be here, because just me screaming and yelling and talking about it is not going to make a difference. My grandma said, one person or one finger can't do anything, but you
Right.
ball up that fist, that mighty fist can knock down doors,
Amen.
and that's the thing. We need more people to come in and say, we want to do this, but we need a time where we're working people. And
Okay.
the saddest thing is, and what frustrates me so much, and I have so much passion for this, is that the main people that it involves and it affects so deeply are the main ones that are working and just trying to pay bills and can't be there at those
That's it.
meetings. So
That's
as
it.
far as I'm concerned, and I don't know what the parameters or the restrictions, I haven't heard any when I've mentioned this, is that we can have something at 7:30. If there's comments that needed to be made, we can have something at 7:30 at the city council where people can come in and share those thoughts, or have them to sign up and say, okay, I'm going to be there online. They can sign up online, and then they call them once they get there, but it can be done. All it
It can
takes
be
is a
done.
little bit of cooperation, the planning, but the people that it affects the most are the ones that they hear from the least.
That
And
is so
that's
true.
not fair, because
That
they're
is so
not
true.
making it available. And also remember, this is a systemic issue. This hasn't been just happening.
No.
Them having these 4 o'clock and 1:30 meetings or whatever. If
It's
you're
ongoing.
representing me, my thought is you will be available where I'm going to be available. Work that out where we can be there together, so I can support you as a council person, but also that council person can support that resident as well, that citizen.
That's so
Wow.
true. So true. If you're just joining us, you have tapped into an awesome atmosphere. We are here with the one and only Jacquelyn McMiller. She is running for City Council for Ward 2. She's a candidate. Pastor Rogers already claimed that, but she's City Council for Ward 2 in the Fort Myers, Florida area. To be in her presence, as I said before, lets you know that she is speaking from her heart, not just from her mouth. She is definitely concerned. And I noticed on your page that you dealt with the flooding at Brook Hill
Oh
in the
yeah.
past. I saw.
Yes.
So we understand and know that you got your hands into some things to stir some stuff around so that folk would know that I'm serious about what it is that I do. And then, as you say, I definitely, um, when you say I'm a daughter of Ward 2, you mean just that. Born and raised up in the area and community and seen some things, saw some changes from the beginning. So
Yes,
that gives
and
you a
I
level.
didn't get that name. Someone, the public gave me that name, the daughter of Fort Myers, when I ran for
Wow.
mayor,
Uh-huh.
and I just picked it up. If I'm a daughter of Fort Myers, I'm definitely a daughter of Ward Two because I
Wow.
grew up in Ward Two, from
That's it.
Flagler Street to Henderson Avenue, now to to where I live now, and I grew up on this street. This street has changed names about I believe 3 times since I've
Wow.
moved here.
Wow.
And it's with Brook Hill, that was the one with Billy's Creek.
Hmm.
I called Byron Donalds. I called Congressman Frederica Wilkinson. She called Byron Donalds and told him and put me on three-way and said, "This is what you need to do. You need to get down there in Fort Myers because I'm telling everybody." I was on the phone with Telemundo. They came
Wow.
down and because it's like I've told everyone, when we're dealing with a disaster, doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent,
That's it.
doesn't
That's
matter
it.
whether you're Black, white, Hispanic, Latino, doesn't matter. People needed help. And the
Yes.
main people that I saw that were struggling and have been impacted so severely were from the Hispanic community, Latino
Hmm.
community, and the Black community.
Oh,
And
I
as you
tell
know,
you.
with any disasters, studies have shown that these communities are the ones that are the worst hit,
Hmm.
worst affected because we don't have a lot of discretionary income,
Hmm.
and they're the least likely to get back on track. It
That's
takes
true.
them longer. So they're the ones that need the most help.
Hmm.
Working with FEMA, we worked and I spoke to FEMA as well as the Red Cross, delivering food to many of the homes, the retirement homes here in the community,
Hmm.
but setting up, working with Red Cross to set up our first
I
official
saw that.
disaster center here
I
in
saw
Ward
that.
2. And that's over at Mount Olive Church. And I am the vice president of the Dunbar Community Outreach Network that is
Hmm.
there
Hmm.
with our wonderful Pastor Gibbons, who we feed sometimes over 2,000 people a
Wow.
month. And this just shows you the need.
Just definitely just to show you that I am serious about what I do. And it doesn't sound like we are growing weary in our well doing. Shout out to Veronica Thomas. She said hello to the beautiful Miss Jacquelyn McMiller.
Hi, Veronica.
And of course, our queen Toya is on the line on tonight, supporting as always. Shout out to
Oh,
Africa.
yes.
Oh my goodness, went to the motherland. So we are excited about them having a safe trip there, going and coming back, and can't wait to talk to them about that. But we are so excited that you decided to stop by and share this information with us. I saw where you led the first Red Cross Disaster Center for Ward 2. And that thing with this last storm moved our apostle so until she got a couple of carloads from Fort Pierce to come
Mm.
over to Fort Myers to bring food and see what was going on and see who could they help and see who could they pray for while they were there. So we know that it touched lives farther than Fort Myers. He
Absolutely.
touched lives in different places that people were coming from everywhere because they wanted to show their love and their support for the community because it was definitely heartbreaking.
Oh, definitely. Miami Gardens. Let me tell you what Miami Gardens did. 2 truckloads, the city council members, and 2 truckloads, semi trucks,
Wow.
full of supplies. They
Oh
brought
my
it
goodness.
to Harlem Heights, where that was most of the devastation that I saw. And I did a lot of
Yes.
work down there. And that was where I met with the people from Telemundo. But Harlem Heights, and we brought the other half here at Cornerstone Church, and they were able to divvy up a lot of those supplies. But Miami Gardens, they brought it. And I
That's so
mean, I
wonderful.
appreciate those guys so very much. It just shows that, what a community can do. It doesn't have to be here in Dunbar or in Fort Myers. You got
Mhm.
people from Miami Gardens coming in helping out. And I want Fort Myers to be able to do that. I would love
That's
to be
it.
able to spearhead something like that if there's a disaster, God forbid, anywhere else in Florida or anywhere else that we can help from here in Fort Myers and send assistance from the love that we have here with the churches, our families, our community, and send it and help another community as well.
That's it. That's it. The reach out and touch. I mean,
Mhm.
that
We
song is
have
real.
to.
Yeah.
It's reach out and touch, and we all need someone. And
Right.
what it's another song. We are the world.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
We
have
are the
these
world.
beautiful
Yes.
songs. But like you say, put it to work. Put it,
Hmm.
take it from your heart and put it in your hands and begin to do some things. Some of us are limited, can only do so much. But then if we know someone that knows someone, tell someone so that they can
Hmm.
help fix the problem. And if they are wondering whether or not you have the experience, 25 years, you've been degrees in legal studies, business management with risk management. So you understand and know it from both sides, from being a product of to studying, had your own consulting firm, it's just awesome. 25 years of experience. There are some people that you're dealing with, talking to, fellowshipping with that's not even 25 years old, that you've been doing this thing before they were even born. So if there's
Yes.
ever a doubt in their mind whether or not you have the experience, it's in there. It's
Yes.
in the books.
Mhm.
It's in
I
black
have
and white.
I have reported, I've been at and had to transcribe, and so I know all of this information. And I didn't realize God prepares us for things
Yes,
when we're
yes.
going through something, and we don't even know why.
Mhm.
Never did I think that when I was transcribing and having to listen to Board of County Commission meetings, City Council meetings, criminal cases, litigation, civil litigation, from contracts to major contracts and everything. I
Mhm.
learned so much from doing that what I'm doing now is already embedded. I already know this information. I
Wow.
know the players. I know how the intricacies of this system works at
Mhm.
city council and also within the county commission as well. So it's not anything new to me. But owning and running a business, you have to know finance. You
Yes.
have to know budgeting. All of this information. And I was a CEO for 20 years,
Mhm.
and I was anything that happened in Collier County, in the Collier County Courthouse, that was my responsibility to
Mhm.
cover as the official court reporter. I was state
Mhm.
appointed. The state trusted me. So obviously they felt that I had
That's it.
the skills, the knowledge, skills, and abilities, but didn't know back then. But I know now what God was preparing me for, and I
That's
want
it.
to be able to pass that on, and I want to
That's
be
it.
able to do something with it. If He blesses us with something, we're supposed to do something good with it, and that's
That's
what I'm
it.
trying to really do.
Pass it on. Pass it on. Like they say, die empty. Don't take that knowledge to the grave. I mean, even having
Mhm.
your own consulting firm, CEO of your own consulting firm, targeted at risk folk that are
Targeted
in the
risk
community. Yes.
targeted risk targeted risk consulting. And
Yes.
basically what I do is I go in, I break apart, I assess the company, and I tell them what's going on. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What are their
Mhm.
opportunities? And specifically, what are their threats? This is what I
Wow.
do. I am Six Sigma certified, which is a very, very difficult certification to even get. And
Wow.
I have obtained that. So I apply all of that to each one of the businesses that I go into. And people don't realize the city of Fort Myers is a business. Lee County is a business. You have to
Mm.
know each one of the agencies and departments, and you have to understand how they work and how they can work together to make this city run like a well-oiled machine. But we
Wow.
have to have people in here that cares, that's
Wow.
going to put people first, but also understand that there's a tax base that we have to address, and that we have to also be able to make sure that we have some smart development here too.
That's it.
Our builders, they're not building for free. Our
Come on.
developers, they're not doing it for free. But we
Hmm.
have to make sure that we can meet somewhere in the middle to address the needs of the community. Because
Hmm.
without the community, the developers can't succeed.
That's
And
it.
without the developers, the community is going to struggle. So we
And,
need each other. We
and
need
we've
each other.
we've seen some things in the past that because rules were not followed, lives were lost.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
it.
Sad
That's
to
it.
say,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's
but
it.
it actually happened.
It does
And we
happen.
have
And
to
we,
learn from those mistakes. The
oh
biggest
my
thing is
God,
learn from those mistakes and be better.
that's it. And go forward.
Exactly.
Hmm.
We have to embrace it. We have to embrace it. But it's
Yes,
not to hurt us, but it's to help us if we
Hmm.
embrace it.
Hmm.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you're not just walking around with a beautiful face. You
Oh,
have the knowledge that goes behind it.
I'm
That's
an avid
awesome.
reader. I love to read, but I love to break things apart, see what makes them tick,
Yes,
and make it stronger.
that's it.
And that's just life in and of itself.
That's it. And that's why I like what TD Jake said. Use everything you got.
Yeah.
If they walk up on
Hmm.
you in your presence, feel your warmth, see your smile, and then you ask me a question, then that's my opportunity to share with you and instill into you my faith, my belief, and my desires of what it is that I want to do. Because now you've
Exactly.
entered into my world. My smile drew you in, my personality drew you in. Like, okay, God, so is this my opportunity? And he said, yes. Okay, I'm opening up my mouth and I'm
Yep.
just gonna begin to bless you with what God gave me. I love it. I love it.
That's
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yes, it is.
I'm a hugger. I tell people I love to hug.
Oh, you
I'm
give
a
beautiful
giver,
hugs.
and I love hugs. And I just think that that's what I know from my spirit, that that's what
Hmm.
God wants us to do. And
Yes,
is if we push God out of the schools, look what happened. You
yes,
know,
That's
we
right.
can bring God back into this political system. We can bring him back into the schools. That's what's going to start balancing
yes,
everything. We
yes.
need to learn what empathy is. And I
Mhm.
am responsible for my fellow man.
That's it.
It's not all just government. We, each individual, is responsible for their fellow man.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you're just tapping in with us right now, the Lord has allowed you to walk into the presence of this awesome woman of God, Jacquelyn McMiller, daughter of Ward 2, Vice President of Dunbar Community, 25 years experience, CEO. She's tapped into court reporting, legal studies, business management, risk management, been there, done that. She is a city council candidate for Ward 2. And we're here tonight to just be able to get to know her, to allow her to share with you what we already know to be true,
That's right.
that she is the one.
That's right. I
Amen.
have two questions to pose to you, Councilwoman.
Of
The first
course.
one is, what's more important for our city right now? Building new homes and commercial space, or rehabbing, expanding, better utilizing our existing homes and storefront?
Mm.
Well, the first thing that we need to do is, we need to invest back into our community. If
Uh-huh.
it's already there, we need to rehabilitate
Hmm.
that those structures, and that's one of the things that they're doing. One of the things that I don't agree with is that they're building it single story. If you
Hmm.
think about it, if you don't have a lot of land, and Fort Myers is very small. It's only about 90, 90 miles,
Oh
So
wow.
it's not very huge. It's a very small city. So therefore, you have to think out of the box. If you don't have a lot of land to build out, then you have to build up. So
Hmm.
I'm appreciative of those single family homes. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. but that's one home every 6 to 7 months. It's not making an impact. We need to build up. We need to build 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories. My thing is they're building high rises all the time,
Right.
$1 million high rises all the time, but you can't build moderate to low income housing and have that being mixed housing. You can do that. But if they don't, people are going to be pushed further and further out into Lehigh and then Hendry County. So we need to reinvest into the structures that we currently have, but also look at some land that we may have within the city that the city owns that we can start building new projects on as well. And I mean new projects for moderate to low income.
Yes.
Not high rises, not those apartments or those condos that are going to be selling for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. You know, that just, to me, that makes sense. And I referred to a book just recently, How to Kill a City. This book is exactly what we're going through now. It has a lot of information on how you can destroy a city because you're so focused on the high rises. People are not going to be able to live there. So therefore, they're going to have to move out. And that's what we find that are happening. We have vouchers now, housing vouchers. They can't even use the housing vouchers because of the fact that there's nowhere to rent from in the city.
Wow.
And that makes no sense.
Wow.
We can do better. We can do better.
And the second question is, Councilwoman, is as we're being pushed further out, how do you feel about the transportation option currently available in the city? And can all of our residents affordably get where they need to go? And if not, what will you do to improve transportation in our city?
Well, that's twofold. And I have I've read about this. I have spoken to a lot of people about this. The Metropolitan Planning Organization, they had a meeting recently with regards to the roads and how transportation, they're really responsible for a 5-year plan for transportation. One thing that we need to do is work towards getting rid of this urban sprawl. And I mean by urban sprawl, everything is single family homes. It's so widespread. You can't even, there's nowhere to, you can't even ride a bicycle to work because, you know, going to work is it could be a 20-mile trek, so we need to bring things in closer, building up, not out. That's the first thing. But also finding other modes of transportation. If you find there's a beverage company that's building on MLK right now, you start to build the low and moderate income housing near that beverage company, because you're going to find a lot of people is going to bring jobs. It's within walkable distance of this beverage company. All of those areas, those big jobs and those big companies like that may have multiple employees that build routes around those particular businesses, those large businesses like that. That's how we start to tackle it. When it takes us, there's all around the country, there are people, trains, they're using trains types of modes of transportation. We are only using these street buses. The street buses don't even have their own lane. That may be something that we need to look at, because that will cut down on the time that the street buses are in traffic. So these are some things, these are some options, but I would look to the experts and I would tell them, hey, listen, these are my ideas that just makes common sense. And we all know common sense is not common anymore. But if there's a way that they can do that and adjust the routes around these particular big companies like Amazon, it'll take you 3 hours from Fort Myers to get to Amazon. I've had people that have said that they're literally Ubering to Amazon and paying $50 just to get to work a day. That's almost a third of their daily pay. So these are issues that, and again, I will go back. This is a systemic issue. This did not happen by chance. This is a system that has been set up So we need to understand how we're going to break that system down and get the people in there on city council that's willing to do it and work towards doing it. But
That's
we
it.
can't do it alone. We need that community behind us to do it.
That's it. If you're just tapping on tonight, you have tapped into the atmosphere with this beautiful woman of God, Miss Jacquelyn McMiller. The Fort Myers crew is in the house tonight. Elder David is on the line with us tonight. Veronica and Toya on the line with us also. The daughter of Ward 2 Vice President of the Dunbar community. Um, she is a candidate for city council for Ward 2. She's wanting to make some changes, some positive changes in the community, to bring us all together, to help in situations that we know that are broken. And if we just come together as a people, some of these things we'll be able to remedy. But you need someone with the driving force. You need someone to lead. Everybody can't lead.
That's right.
You know, so everybody have big ideas, but we want to do it from the back seat. We want to be backseat drivers. We have someone now
Yes.
that wants to step up front and lead the way.
And have the heart for the people.
Have the heart for the people. Have the experience behind her to give you what you need. All you have to do is just listen to reasoning. If you want to get in contact with her, I put her information on the screen. Jacquelyn McMiller, www.votemcmiller.com, and her phone number is 239-989-6696. In other words, she's reachable. You don't have to go
That's
through.
my personal number.
That's it. You don't have to go through.
That's my personal number.
Have your people call my people to make a meeting with your people to get in contact with her.
All right, all right.
She's saying, here I am. This is my information. You can reach me.
I'm available.
And I'm available on
to you.
Facebook.
That's
I'm
it.
on Facebook, my personal page, as well as my my candidate page as well. So inboxing, if they want to inbox me and reach me in that way, I have a lot of people that do that. It's just really about being reachable, being approachable, and not changing once you get in there. I've
That's
been
it.
in forms of
Oh, my
leadership.
goodness.
I've
Oh,
been
my
the
goodness.
only Black woman in a conference room, you know, of 20 men. And you know, if I can face that, I can face anything. You
That's
know,
it.
and you know, it really is about being there for the people, listening, and also I want people to bring me ideas. You know, I
Right.
lay up at night and I get these wonderful brainstorms or whatever, but I want people to bring me ideas, because once you're the smartest person in the room, you think you are, you're in the
Yes.
wrong room.
That's
You need
it.
to get out of there.
And we can
Because
attest to that. My wife and I, from the first time that Lee Pitt introduced us to you,
Yes.
you took to us like you knew us all our lives.
Yes.
And you have been the same ever since.
And
You are a
have
lovable
not
woman,
changed.
a respectable woman.
Yes.
I'm telling you, if you are councilwoman of Ward 2, they would receive exactly what you're saying right now.
That's
and
it.
I was, if we were
absolutely.
living in Fort Myers, you definitely have our vote, woman of God.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
We really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate
That's
you.
it.
My
Veronica,
heart is in this. I want to share all the knowledge that I have. I want
yes.
to mentor kids. I would love to see some 15 and 16-year-olds that may be involved and want to be in law enforcement, in legal, attorneys, political, with a political mindset, to be up there in the city council with me, next to me, and understanding what is happening.
That's
You know,
it.
and getting an understanding and building that nest egg where they can fall back on
That's
the
it.
same way I did.
Veronica said, I'm not a part of this ward yet, but I'm encouraging everyone I know to vote for this phenomenal woman. Her experience is wonderful and needed, but her kind personality, spirit, and smile is what captured my attention enough to make me want to know more about her. And she said she was shocked when you gave her your card with your personal number. So she thought to herself, what politician does that?
Well, I tell everyone I'm not a politician. It's always been, but I know I'm in politics, you know, but seriously, we have to do it. You know, we just really have to do it. And I appreciate everyone, and I will never, you know, we so often that people that we vote for, once they get in there, they forget about where they came from. You know, and make people feel as though they forget about where they came from. I know I can't be everywhere, but I would definitely do my best to be in a place where I will be available to hear people out, because I owe it to them to put back into this community. We owe it. If you live here or even if you don't, you owe it to your community to give back
That's
in
it.
some way, shape, or form. And we all have something we can give back for.
That's it. We need to stop looking at these movies where they show us these politicians and they get pressured. They have a good speech, and when they get into office, they're pressured by the big dogs not to do what it is that they said that they were going to do and compromise.
Mhm.
But from what we can see, know, hear, feel, and sense from the Lord, you won't change,
No,
because it's who you are, because you are a product of the community. And when you are a product of the community, it makes a difference, because I'm passionate about what I do, and nothing you can say, do, or give me will change my mind. It's like being saved. It's like coming to Christ. It don't matter what you do or say to me or how you treat me, we're not going to go back, because we're sold
exactly.
out. And that's the way
Exactly.
we feel that you are about what it is in your community,
That's right.
and we
And the
respect
bottom
that.
line is, you're not going to, I've told people when I ran for mayor, I was offered some things and
Mhm.
to get out of the race. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to sell my soul
Come on.
for politics.
That's it. Oh
This
my
is just
goodness.
politics. I'm not going to sell my soul for anything that you can offer me to do something like that. But I think the
Mhm.
biggest thing is, I tell everyone, go back and look at the donations that have come in. That's going to tell you, because all of these people, my opponent has about 20, $30,000 so far.
Mhm.
They've maxed it out and she's gotten donations from all of the people from downtown, her friends, other city council members. They've maxed it out. You best believe she's going to have to honor whatever they paid for her. They're
That's
paying
it.
for that. you know
Yes.
I've gotten only from the people, only from the people. It hasn't been a whole lot, but
Mhm.
even this sign I have to pay for, but it was enough. I earned enough just from the people to be able to pay for it. And
That's
that's
it.
all it takes. I don't want to be beholden to anyone,
That's it.
and
Oh
once
my
you get
goodness.
into that point, you're going to be compromised,
Mhm.
and I want people to really understand it. This isn't a pretty, one of the reasons why I didn't want to get in politics or consider it as politics is that it can get dirty,
Yes.
and it can get really nasty, but it doesn't
Yes.
have to be.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be. You just stick to your guns. You say what you're going to say and do what you're going to do, and maintain your integrity. And that's the
That's it.
only thing you can do
That's it. At all times.
at all
Um,
times.
Whether you're at Lee Pitts Live, whether you're in the grocery store, whether you're in Walmart, you can't change, can't switch, can't buckle down, because folk are everywhere. Everywhere you go, somebody's going to know you or have seen you,
Hmm.
have talked to you, or know someone that know you,
That's right.
Hmm.
and they're going to make mention. Guess who I saw? At, and guess who she was talking to? They always remember that. They don't remember the good
Hmm.
stuff. And if you say anything that's derogatory or negative, you know what? I know her, but I remember when she said, well, what about all the good things that she said before that?
Exactly.
And then as soon as you say
Exactly.
one thing that they don't like, then here we go. We display that.
Hmm.
Nothing
And
good.
as a people, I always say, as a people, our pastor even spoke about this. Pastor Parker, he spoke about it the other day. We're so critical. We're more critical of each other than
Yes.
anyone else. We're going to, I guarantee you, I'm going to make some mistakes.
Yes.
But I want to learn from those mistakes and move
Hmm.
on. But
Hmm.
we hold that over each other, and we can't do it until we learn how to let go and let God. And
Yes.
if that person crossed you, maybe they don't deserve your trust anymore,
Right.
but you give them an opportunity to, don't see them and say, oh, I don't like you, I don't do you anymore. We as women, as Black women,
I
we
know. I
have to
know.
support each other. And I'm going to share this with you real quick. I've never been part of the sororities, the
Hmm.
Divine Nine, but
Hmm.
I was at a recent event, and at an event with the Deltas, with the Sigmas and the Zetas, and
Hmm.
those Zeta women, those Delta women.
Mm-hmm.
The other women sororities that I failed to mention and don't is only because of the fact that I can't remember them all because I'm not familiar with them. But that's what we need. That's what we need. Anytime you see me, usually you're going to see me either in thought or with a smile on my face because you
Right.
never know what somebody is feeling. And
That's
that
it.
smile may make the difference to them in the world
That's
right
right.
then and there. And it may be encouraging to them, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how bad of a day I'm having. So, I like I told the ladies with the Zetas and the Deltas, I wish that as women, we had that as a woman community,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
that support. And I'm sure they bicker between each other, but ultimately when the feathers fly and they settle, guess what? They're supporting each other,
That's
right?
it. That's
They're
it. They have
supporting
each
each
other
other.
back. They have each other back.
Yes. And it was
Oh my goodness.
beautiful. It's
That's the thing
beautiful.
about I started out in nursing years ago. And that was the one thing that I noticed over the years that now they eat their young
Mm-hmm.
instead of being able to nurture and bring them together because nursing was so overwhelming and time consuming. I wanted to do sororities, but I couldn't because they just consumed all of your time day and night, from clinical to your studies. And I never got a
Exactly.
chance to do that. But as I said, there's a sisterhood that's within the sororities that I do respect and admire.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get to a point to where we can't have a squabble and still love on one another, I won't crucify you or persecute your name because of your opinion or your thoughts or your ideas. And we can still love on one another. To me,
Absolutely.
that means a lot. I should be able to vent and say, you know what, Jacqueline, this is how I feel. And you not criticize me or blackball me because that's the way I feel. And as you say, as a community, that's the way we should be about one another. I'm running for city council for Ward 2. There are some ideas that I want to use. You may have some ideas that you may want to present to me. But if I'm not able to get to them or it's being cast down for whatever reason, don't slam me to a wall because at this time it could not come to the forefront.
Right.
Patience is a
Exactly.
That's
virtue.
right. And we can't complain and sit on the couch.
That's
We
it.
got to get out
Exactly.
and vote.
Got to do something.
We have to be
Exactly.
heard. We have to be seen.
That's it.
So if you want change,
Exactly.
it starts within you. Michael Jackson penned the song "The Man in the Mirror."
Yes.
If you want change, it starts with you.
That's it. That's it. Oh my
Nothing
goodness.
is going to take place without you.
That's it. That's it. And we love it. Like I said, we have the daughter of Ward 2 that's hanging out with us on tonight. She's been around the world, like the song said, 25 years doing what it is that she does. The Lord has allowed her to be exposed to all of these things in every area so that she can bring correction, so that she can help those that are under her as a city council woman, court reporting, legal studies. So she's heard some things, dictated some things, documented some things, legal studies, even in business management.
Yes, yes.
Gives you good structure as to what to do once you become a business owner. And then being a CEO of our own consulting firm, 20 plus years, people that were at risk.
Right, right.
She did it. She was there. She focused on it. She targeted. And when you do risk management calls you to tap into some
Mm,
things that you say to yourself, you know what? I don't know if I want to deal with that because it gets ugly. Because there's some things that we do to cut corners
hmm.
that is not right.
That's
And
right.
in risk management, you have to bring it to the forefront. You have to bring it to the light. I did some years in risk management in nursing. And I tell you, you create some enemies in risk management because there's some things that they want to do that they feel like you should be able to allow them to get away with. But it's going to cause someone or some structure or some business some issues if you allow it to go.
That's right.
So here she is. The Lord has allowed her to be exposed to all of that. And then to get her hands dirty, she dealt with the flooding in Brook Hill years ago. And then she led the first Red Cross disaster center in Ward 2 years ago. So understand and know that she's been there, done that. She's doing some things, doing some awesome things in the community. And she's doing it because she loved her community. And that says a whole lot. That speaks volume
Right, right.
about who she is and what she is. And then she even started out from the beginning, giving a shout out to her pastor. So you know she loved her pastor. Shout out to Pastor Jared and Lily Parker, Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, and I'm sure she'll do that when she comes back on. But shout out to them for praying for her and standing in the gap for her, considering everything that she has to go through, will go through, or is going to go through as a candidate for city council for Ward 2.
That's it.
And then I like because she started out from the beginning talking about Veronica Shoemaker and being able to be exposed to someone. And she set a precedent from the beginning of the live. So you have to go back to the beginning of the live to know that Veronica Shoemaker, we got to shed some light there. She tried 17 times before she was elected into the position.
That's right.
In Ward 1. 17
That's
times. Right. Think to yourself in your life, things that you have tried to do over the years, and somebody said no. Every time you tried to do it, somebody knocked you down. Every time you tried to do it, you didn't win. Every time you competed, you didn't get the position. Here she is, former candidate for Fort Myers as mayor in 2020, 3 points from being chosen as mayor of Fort Myers, but she didn't quit. She didn't stop trying. She didn't stop the business. She didn't stop doing risk management. She didn't stop trying to make a difference in her community. And she said to president from the beginning, whatever you do, if there's a little saying that I used to do in church a long time ago, it says, when the road you're traveling is all uphill, rest if you must, but don't you quit.
Don't you quit.
Don't
Don't
quit.
you quit.
Don't
That's
quit.
it.
Don't
And
quit.
we believe for Councilwoman in Ward 2, that she's here to fulfill a purpose.
Yes.
And to be a service to those who could not and cannot help themselves.
Yes.
And we believe that this woman
Absolutely.
of God right here will be an awesome councilwoman for Ward 2. And if you guys are in the Lee County, Fort Myers, Lehigh, Dunbar area, wherever area you are in, down in that area,
In the Ward 2
listen,
area.
get together, get out some petition, vote for this awesome woman of God, Miss Jacquelyn McMiller. You will not go wrong in this area. If you want change, it's sitting right here in front of you.
Yes.
Jacquelyn McMiller will bring change not only to the community, but to the county of Lee County.
That's it. Oh my goodness.
And that's all I'm trying to do. I tell everyone, Obama won by getting a donation of $1 sometimes. He had more donations of $1 because people believed in him. I would love to be able to say that, $10 with a minimum of $10. And you can go to my page, my Facebook page. You can go to my website. You can donate there, but $10 per person. That's all it takes. And if God blesses you with more, if it's 20 or 30, or the maximum is 1,000 for this primary, but I think that I would rather have the $10 from people that believe in me than $1,000 from someone that just wants to be able to say that they got me in there and now I'm going to have to pay them back in some vote or something else. I take those residents and those citizens every time. So please, everyone, donate, support. Let me know you're out there. I want to break records, but I really, really want to make a difference. It's time for us to get someone in there that's truly committed.
That's it. And if it doesn't matter if we're in Waimama or they're in another city or state, they can donate to your campaign, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
They can donate. I've gotten donations from all the way to Illinois. I've gotten donations from, so you don't have to be here, but you can definitely be able to support monetarily. And it's through Act Blue, is secure. And I can send you a link. They can reach out to me on Facebook, like I said, messaging, and be able to do that as well.
So they can go to this website, the www.votemcmiller.com, and be able to sow?
Absolutely. They can absolutely do
awesome.
that. And I would appreciate everything, even if it's $1, just to know the saying, hey, Jackie, I believe in you. That would mean the world to me.
So the information is on the screen. I will also put it in the chat. that if you're out there to, we call it sowing love. If you want to
Mm,
sow some love into this woman that is filled with love, that wants to be a blessing to all that is in her midst, she wants to make a change. Then the www.votemcmiller.com. Go to that website and you'll be able to share some love to her in her campaign. Her phone number is 239-989-6696. If you don't get it out of the chat or in our notes, you can just call her and she'll give you the information that you need to be able to be a blessing to her as she be a blessing to her community. She's realized early in life that it was never about her. Everything that God allowed her to go through and complete, she realized at a young age that it was never about her. She was just a tool that was willing to be used
Mm-hmm.
to make a change in her
Mm-hmm.
community. And how many of us can say that? That regardless to the no's in our life, God, you can use me to make a
Mm-hmm.
difference in my community. That's speaking volume all by itself.
That's right.
Like
That's
don't
exactly right.
use me because I don't want them talking about me. Don't put my name up there because I don't want them
That's it.
slanderizing my name. Is that what Auntie
That's what
said?
it said. That's what she said.
I want to slanderizing my name.
don't slanderize.
That's it. That's it. Oh my God. So listen, just know that we love you. Honest, we do.
I love you
And we
guys
want you
too.
all to our hanging with the Walkers fam to show Miss McMiller that you love her too. She says even just $1 to sow into the campaign. Just say, hey, woman of God, I'm with you. I have faith in what you do. I may not be in your community, but I know that you're going to make a change and I want to help. And we
That's
can
right.
start
And tell
small.
their friends. I
That's
what
it.
I've done during the time that I supported with Biden, I because I was a spokesperson for the Biden campaign in 2020, and I had the
Okay.
pleasure of being chosen to introduce Jill Biden. We were shut down with COVID and everything, but we had a town
Wow.
hall, and she appeared at the town hall, and I had the pleasure of actually introducing the first lady,
Oh
and
my goodness.
that was such a pleasure. And she's
I
such
can't
a nice
imagine.
person, and it truly was. But these are, all of this information and some of the people that I've had the opportunity to meet and have their support. Um, is no different than having the support of my next door neighbor. My
That's
next door
it.
neighbor, tell your friends. I tell them, tell your friends, hey, I tell my son, tell your friends while you guys are hanging out at the basketball court, get the phone
Right.
and support.
That's
Tell
it.
them, give her $5 or whatever, because it's not about me. It's for the community.
That's it. That is so awesome. I'm telling you. Oh, listen, we got Veronica right now on here saying she donating right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, thank you,
That's right.
Veronica.
Right now, action person. And we're definitely going to put ours in after we get through with the show and everything. I make you laugh. I'm still in the midst of the traditional artist of the year, and we went to the open house in Atlanta, Georgia of She Real Radio. Shout out to Tiffany Real, she CEO of She Real Radio, and they were having a meeting. They were sitting down laughing and socializing. When you're serious about what you do, you walk in that thing. I took my
Hmm.
cell phone out. I said, everybody take your cell phone out. I said, I need you all to do something for me right now. I need you all to vote for me right now for Traditional Artist of the Year. Everybody took their phone out and start voting. So that's what I'm saying to you tonight. Take your phones out,
Oh,
type in www.votemcmiller.com and sow some love into this woman of God. She's precious in God's eyesight. She's
oh,
serious about what she does. She's a daughter of Ward 2. She's coming to you for real. She's not faking the phone. This is who she is. I promise you, we're on camera now. But if you meet her somewhere else, what you see tonight is what you're going to get.
That's right. That's right.
And we can't ask for anything better
That's
than
right.
that.
That's right.
nope.
Oh my goodness.
And
That's
No,
it.
we
no,
have to. This is part of who we are. This is
Yes,
part of the way we're supposed to be. I
that's
will
it.
come to anyone's house if it's in Ward 2. If they want to, I don't care where it is. I will go there if it's for donations, to get my word out and let people know what my platform is. I want
That's it.
people. The forum that we had just recently, I was so for it because our community needs to know who they are voting for,
So true.
and determine, does this person have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to get there and be able to do what they say that they're going to do. I'm not going to make any promises that I can't keep, but I
Right.
will tell you, I'm not going to tell you, hey, I'm going to build this, multi-million dollar, low-income housing project here. But I tell you, I can work on it.
That's
And I
it.
tell you what we can do to work on it together.
That's
And
it.
that's what it's going to take. It is going to take a community, but it's going to take a family. And I consider this whole community my family.
I love it. I love it. Part two. Oh my goodness. Listen, if you just tapped in, I know you're feeling the sunshine. I know you're feeling the love from this awesome woman of God, Jacquelyn McMiller. Give her a call, 239-989-6696. You may not have had an opportunity tonight to ask her questions, but give her a call. And listen, don't get an attitude. Don't get all jacked up. If she don't answer the phone, leave a message. She'll call you back. You're not the only one that's calling her. Have some patience. Just know that she's
Mhm.
going to get back with you. She's not going to say, call my people to call your people and we'll set up a meeting and then I'll call you back. Leave her a message and give her an opportunity to share with you and show love to you. That makes sense?
Absolutely.
Make a lot of
Oh,
sense.
definitely.
Make a
Any
lot of
shout
sense.
outs that you want to give at this time?
I want to give a shout out to my church family, Friendship Baptist Church. Pastor Parker, he has been a godsend to this community. I want to give a shout out to all of the pastors within the alliance that put on the forum that we just had recently. And one of the things that I told them, I'm so happy. It kind of reminds me back in the day, even though I wasn't born, but during the time Martin Luther King, the
Mm-hmm.
churches are the fixture of our community. And
Uh-huh.
it's really wonderful to see the churches getting back and
Yes.
coming back together to help the community and support the community and lead the community, because
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones, they Pastor Glover, Pastor Anderson, Pastor Barnes, all of those pastors. And I'm sorry I haven't mentioned everyone, but your name is in my mind, in my heart.
That's it. That's it.
That everyone that's working within this community, it was wonderful to see that they formed this alliance, and that they're moving forward with supporting the community. But shout out to Pastor Parker, Lady Lily,
Mm-hmm.
that's my heart, Friendship Baptist Church, beautiful family, and shout out to all of the people that I'm claiming it, that are going to support, that are
Yes.
going to vote, and that will be there to vote. I don't care who you vote for. I do care, but I want you there to vote and give your voice. Let people know what your voice is. Your
That's it.
vote is your voice. And I want to give a shout out to the entire Fort Myers community, Lee County, all over. And most of all, I want to give a shout out to the Walkers for what
Oh,
they're doing, for what you guys are doing. It is
bless
such
you.
a
Bless you.
blessing what you're doing in bringing light to the communities all around where you are.
Thank you so much. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
that. You know, you got the Queens T and T on the line tonight. Tisha and Toya, South. You always say it right.
Southwest.
Southwest Florida.
Hmm.
Black. Come on, Black
Black
TV
ladies.
anchors. I call them anchors.
That's it.
That's our Oprah. I've told them that's our Oprah and Gail. That's
Yes,
That's it
Oprah and
right
yes,
Gail.
there.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Showing some love on tonight. And Tisha said, Jacquelyn McMiller is truly a beautiful soul.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you, Tisha. And that
yes.
means the world to me, coming from you of all
Oh,
people, because she is really, truly a
yes,
beautiful soul. I mean, my
yes.
spirit cries out to her every time I see her. And I realized I went to school with her mom.
No
Didn't even know.
way.
Her mom
Oh,
is
okay.
beautiful. Didn't even know that. But Fort Myers is small. We all are related in some kind of way, shape, or form. That's why I just believe that we should, just be out there to support each other, support
Yes,
Tisha and Toya. They're leading, they're paving the way. There's
yes,
going to
they
be some young
are.
women that are going to
Yes, they
say, I
are.
want to be like Tisha. I
That's
want to
it.
be like Toya. I want to hold that microphone and introduce people
That's
and
it.
all of that. There's
That's
so
it.
many things that the best thing about this, y'all, is that there's no boundaries right now
Come
for our
on.
Black little girls.
Come on. Come
None.
on.
And we're doing it from Fort Myers. We're
Yes.
moving any boundaries and any barriers from
Mhm.
Fort Myers. So we're letting them know, go out into the world and fly out there and do whatever you want to do,
That's
because
it. Sky's the
we're
limit.
clearing the way for you.
Yes, sir. You're taking the beatings, you're taking the whippings, you're taking the black eyes, you're taking the punches, so that when they get
Mhm.
ready to walk into this thing, half of the battle has already been won. Just be
Absolutely.
serious about what you do. And like you say, don't fold. Whatever it takes, don't you fold.
Don't fold.
That's it.
And
That's
we're
it.
some of the most resilient women
Come
in the
on.
world.
Come on.
You
Thank the Lord
know,
for
when you
that.
think about it, we're on the bottom of the totem pole from any other ethnicity. You know, we're on the bottom of that totem pole. So
Yes.
we have to be better and stronger than anyone. But we
That's it.
also have to maintain our femininity. We
Hmm.
maintain our spirituality. That's what gets us through things. But we
Hmm.
also have to reach over and say, sister, you're not feeling too well right now, or you feeling like you can't do it. I got you.
That's
And
it.
lift each other up
That's
and
it.
say,
That's it.
no matter what, I'm here for you. You know,
Hmm.
we may have some falling outs, but I'm here for you no matter
Hmm.
what. And
And I
maintain
love
our
it.
integrity and honesty.
The name of our actual ministry is Connecting in the Spirit Outreach Ministries Incorporated.
Mm,
And I understand why he gave us that name, because when we connect with people, sometimes we don't have to talk to them. If he laid them
yes,
on our heart and something is going on with them, we start praying for them. Sometimes
yes.
we don't know exactly no, but he says to pray. He says to cry out for them. And that's what we do. Sometimes they just need a little strength. Sometimes they just
Mhm.
need a little encouragement. Sometimes I just pop in and, say a word or encourage or do whatever and keep going. But that just lets you know you're on my mind and you're in my heart.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I
Yep.
want you to know that somebody somewhere loves you and
That's it.
praying for
Yep.
you.
That's it.
Hmm.
Yep. Or like I do, just to give them that hug, man.
Oh my
There's
goodness.
nothing like a good old heartfelt hug.
What
I'm
you
telling
say? Yes, sir. Yes,
nothing
sir.
like it, you know.
That's it.
And I love my sisters. I love, you know, like I said, the sorors that I've been able to meet and see the community that they have.
Yes.
And it would just be wonderful to see the entire community emulating what they do as women, you know, of the Divine Nine, of
That's
supporting
it.
each other and
That's awesome.
continuing to support each other. And
That's
also,
awesome.
you know, include that and wrap that around in the spirituality of the word. And
Hmm.
that's the main thing, you
Yes, it
know.
is.
And if we could do that, it would be, life would be perfect. It really
Yes, it
would.
would.
And we may not reach perfection, but we all always have to work towards it.
Striving toward it. Yes,
That's it.
ma'am. And Pastor
And I
Roger wants
wanna
to share
I wanna
something.
share this article very briefly, but before I share this article, we just want to thank Councilwoman Jacquelyn McMiller of Ward 2 for coming and hanging with the walkers. You heard it right here first, hanging with the walker. Councilwoman Jacquelyn McMillan of Ward 2. I'm telling you, I see it. It is happening. We're gonna speak on it, and there it is.
And we're going to touch and agree.
Touch and agree on
It's
it.
Amen.
already done.
Already done.
That's it.
To share
Amen.
this, to share this very brief article here. Whatever you do, don't quit.
Come on.
And I want to talk about this awesome woman of Fort Myers that was a community shaker and a community maker.
Hmm.
I'm talking about the very only Veronica Shoemaker.
Hmm.
Mm,
She was the first black member of the Fort Myers City Council and well-known community activist.
Hmm.
She was an independent florist that ran for office in 1966. She ran 17 times for school board and other council race before finally winning the 1982 citywide Fort Myers Council election.
Hmm.
She ran to control the junkyard that were acting as a ball and chain in the Dunbar community. But once she got there, the sky was the limit.
Yes.
mhm.
When she went to voters' home, the article said that she always went through the back door. She said in a 2007 news press interview, even then for years, I knew I had to go to the back door. But I went
Mm.
and I asked people to vote for me. People would say I was just a born loser, but every time I ran, I got a few more votes, and that kept me going.
Mhm.
Former state attorney Joe was instrumental in her victory, she said in 2007. I was getting ready to run again for the city council, and I got a word that Joe D wanted to meet with me, Shoemaker said. She said, I was scared. things were different even then. When a black person hears the state attorney didn't want to see them, you got scared. But I went and it turned out good, really good. It was nearly impossible for a black person to win office, said former Mayor Wilbur Smith, who served on the council with Shoemaker for 14 years. But Veronica Shoemaker never gave up on anything or anyone.
Mm-hmm.
After taking office, Shoemaker supported a lawsuit that led to a court order creating the city current ward system where candidates run in and are elected by voters in designated geographic area. That push paved the way for other black members to serve on the council. Now I'm gonna stop right there, woman of God. And I read that because I see that in you.
Come on.
As you had
Thank
sat
you.
at the foot of this very woman,
Yes.
and she has encouraged you,
Poured
and you
into.
took what she took and poured into you,
Yes.
and this is what got you here today.
Yes.
And you said earlier that you want to have those 15 and 16-year-olds standing there with you so that you can pour into them. This is how iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
This is how we build our community. Lee County, if you want change, it's right here in front of you with Councilwoman Jacquelyn McMiller for Ward 2.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. She did some amazing things. Single member district. I didn't even know that. You know, she started the single member district because people don't realize how the all county or all city can prevent a person of color from representing their community. Single member districts are the ones that says only Ward 2 can vote in Ward 2 for this representative. So if you don't live in Ward 2, you can't vote. And if you just imagine that for anyone that was running for Ward 2, the only way you can be voted in is that you had to win all of Fort Myers.
Wow.
That would make it almost impossible for a person of color.
Yes.
Because even though I win all of Ward 2, but if it was all city, I could win everything of Ward 2 100%. But if I didn't win the other 5 wards, I would still lose. And it is because of Veronica Shoemaker and establishing that single member district is the reason why. The next thing we need to work on is single member district for the county commission. If you hear that it's an all county, you know that you're not going to be represented. We have all of the county commissioners are white and they're men. And until they start to do it, we're a single member district, we will not have true and fair representation. There will not be a woman and there will not be a woman of color on there.
Wow.
Or person of color on the county commission. So thank you again for Veronica Shoemaker. She truly paved the way. Like I said, she was the first business owner that I ever met. So when I became CEO of my company and running everything, and I had a satellite office here in Fort Myers, right down off of Hendry Street. And I actually was the court reporter for most of Wilbur Smith's cases.
Wow.
So that just goes to show how deeply embedded this is. And he would always request me when I was in Naples. I did all of his depositions and everything in Naples unless I had a conflict. But I know Mr. Smith very, very well. His brother Earl Smith, big supporter of mine, and I thank God for him. That's awesome. But yes, she's been around for a while, and Wilbur Smith has been a big supporter.
When we sit at the feet of people like Veronica Shoemaker and they pour into us, so it is in the natural, so it is in the spirit. When they impart into us, they say some things and speak some things into our life that has to come full circle. And I never forget, my mom said years ago, she said, I may not be around to see it. She said, but one day there's going to be a woman president. And my uncle, old fashioned, good old boy, oh, Bernadette, you just talking out of your head. Ain't nothing like that gonna never happen. But look what we're doing now.
Absolutely.
Look what we're anticipating now. So she wasn't talking out of her head. She saw something. I was 8 years old. It was right after Martin Luther King was killed. And my mama spoke those words then. that we were going to have black women in office of power then. And look
Hmm.
how many years ago that was.
Exactly.
And look where we
Exactly.
are now. Look how far we come now.
Yeah.
And he teased her for a long time. You did you hear what Burnett said? Burnett must have bumped her head when she said that. Well, she bumped her head, but she was speaking some things into existence.
She was
Yes,
speaking truth,
yes. And
and
here we
God
are
would put
today.
those words into you to
Hmm.
speak it into existence.
That's it.
He
That's
never
it.
told you that he was going to be there, at a certain time, but he's
Never
always
did.
right on time.
Come
And
on.
that's the
Come on.
difference.
That's
That
it.
he's always right on time. And this
That's
is
it.
the time. And
That's
as
it.
I tell everyone, I was I've been on a couple of Zoom calls, few of them, as a matter of fact, supporting Kamala, and with we raised, gosh, $2 or $3 million the other week,
Wow.
just donations and getting in there and supporting her. But that's exactly what it takes.
Yes.
Black women of color are
Yes.
the biggest people that turn out for voting,
Isn't that something?
the biggest ones. So
Yes, it
that
is.
tells us how much power we have. We
That's
just
it.
have to utilize it. We have to tell our daughters by the time they're 17, okay, you need to go down there and sign up for voting.
Hmm.
We need to make sure at 18 we're taking them down there to vote. Our
That's it.
grandparents, our sons, our kids, our nieces, our nephews, to let them know, hey, you can vote. Everyone has a role. I tell
That's it.
everyone, you may not be that leader, but you have an important role in this world. What are you doing? You have a role in that dash between the
Hmm.
time you were
Come
born
on.
and the
That's it.
time you passed. God
That's it.
calls you. So you have a role in that dash.
Hmm.
God didn't leave you out. You may have
Hmm.
this very big personality and know a lot of people. You can help with Kamala. You can
Yes, you
help
can.
with me,
That's
you
it.
know, and you can make phone calls to all of those friends and send them texts and everything and say, hey, donate $1. I just did.
Hmm.
Challenge them. Donate
Hmm.
this $5 to Jackie. Um, give this love gift to her, and I dare
Hmm.
you to do better or
Hmm.
whatever, and or match it or whatever. But that's
That's
what's
it.
happening with Kamala.
Yes.
And when they called me before they decided to, I got a phone call right before before Biden decided he was announced he wasn't going to run, and they wanted feedback, you know, as to whether we thought, from a Black community, what we thought about Kamala. I said, she's
Wow.
strong. She is strong. And if
Wow.
it's anyone, and she is in that, she's second in command. So
Yes.
follow that second in command.
Come on.
So it's
She's
her
right
turn.
there. She's right there.
Absolutely.
Every decision, every meeting, every talk, every phone call, she's right there.
Yep. Yep.
So
And
she's
she
been
has the
properly
knowledge,
positioned.
she has the
Hmm.
skills, she has the ability to do it. And if we don't vote now, we have to vote because our lives depends on
Oh
it.
my
When
goodness.
our
That's it.
books have been banned because they want to hide our past
Hmm.
as a Black community.
Hmm.
When our books have been banned, our voting rights have been stepped on, we have to vote now. And it's
Yeah.
so important because we can't wait until another 4 years. We
No, we
have to
can't.
do it now and make
Yeah.
sure that we can get someone in there that can overturn a lot of these things, go in and put a term limit for the Supreme Court, reel them in because they have definitely been ethically compromised, you know. But we need to bring God back into this. We
Yes.
really, really need to do and bring
Totally
goodness
agree.
back into politics.
Hmm.
And we can do it. The people need to want him there.
That's
And
it.
if we want him there, we need to vote in the right people to make sure that he's there and he stays there as well.
That's it. And he's a gentleman. He's not going to go anywhere where you don't want him to be. So
Nope.
you got to want him to be there in order for him
You
to
have
be
to
there.
want him.
That's
Yeah.
it. And we thank you so much, Jacquelyn McMiller, the daughter of Ward 2, Vice President of Dunbar Community, doing some things, CEO, you name it. She's done it, been there, done that, and want to make a change in her community. She's now running as candidate for City Council for Ward 2 in Fort Myers, Florida. You can do some things to help right now. www.votemcmiller.com. Go to her site and you'll be able to sow some love into her campaign. If you have any questions before you sow your dollar, I mean, you don't ask McDonald's with your 2-for-1 Big Mac. But anyway, if you have questions, call her 239-989-6696. I know you'll get it after a while. 239-989-6696 if you have any questions. You know, you pull up the McDonald's, you want that 10-piece chicken McNugget.
Right.
You don't ask them, should I buy this chicken McNugget? You just give them your money.
Mhm.
So
Give
do
them
the
your
same
money.
thing for Jacquelyn McMiller. Don't ask her how many chicken McNuggets. You already know it's 10 for whatever the special is. Just click in www.votemcmiller.com and sow seeds of love to help this woman of God walk into where God has already placed her.
That's right.
Is that all right?
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so
They can
much for
call
showing
me. I
love.
can send them the link for the donation. Is all safe and secure. But I just really want to thank you so much, the both of you, so much. And as you said, when I met you guys, it was like I met my brother and sister.
Yes.
And this is my brother and sister in Christ. My
Yes.
spirit
Yes.
open up to you. So,
Yes.
you're real. You want the best for the people and everyone that you're reaching out to. God has put a platform in place for you guys to reach out spiritually through your ministry, to
Thank
reach
you.
out to people all over. And I'm
Yes.
so proud of what you're doing. I am so
Thank
proud
you.
of what you're doing. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for
Keep
what
us in
you're
your
doing.
prayers. Well, know that we love you, and truly there's nothing you can do about it. And when you meet the walkers, boy, it's hard to get rid of us.
That's it. And we'll be at Lee Pit Live September the 27th.
September 27th in the
Yes,
house.
I will be there as
Looking
well.
forward- Yes. Be looking forward to seeing you and getting my hug.
Yes, ma'am.
Always.
Yes, ma'am.
Always.
All right. Well, you have an awesome night. And again, I say, know that we love you, and truly there's nothing you can do about it.
I love you guys too. Stay blessed. And everyone out there on the walkers, please, please, please stay blessed, stay safe. And I will see you all at the polls.
Come on now.
Amen.
All right.
Councilwoman Jacquelyn McMiller,
Come
Ward
on.
2.
Ward 2. Have a good one.
God bless you, woman.
Have a great night. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You too.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.